Hello and welcome to The Big Fight. We're about a week away from the 10th anniversary of the 2002 Gujarat Riots, and all of this is happening at a time when there's considerable news around it. The SIT report, what exactly does it contain? Does it give a so-called clean chit to Narendra Modi? Then there's the report of Raju Ramachandran. What exactly does that say? And in the middle of all of this, we're having judges coming up and saying that they had actually told the SIT certain things about meetings which were then not taken on record. Where do we actually stand in all of this? What does the SIT report and the report of the amicus curiae mean for Narendra Modi? That's what we're going to take a very close look at. And joining us here in the studio, Manish Tiwari of the Congress Party. Great to have you with us. Nirmala Sitharaman, National Spokesperson of the BJP. Ashish Khetan, Editor Investigations of Tehelka, who is perhaps the only person who's actually seen both the SIT report and also the report of the amicus curiae. So it's great to have you with us. Ashok Malik, Senior Journalist, who doesn't agree with what Ashish Khetan says on all of these issues. We're also being joined by Teesta Setalvad, who's been really following the Gujarat riots in great detail, been very closely involved in the investigations and so on and so forth after that for the last 10 years. We also have with us, will be joined in just a short while by Sanjeev Bhatt, IPS officer whose testimony has been really crucial, especially about what happened on the night of the 27th of February. And we will be joined by Tanveer Jaffrey as well, who's Zakia Jaffrey's son. And last but not least, we're being joined by Ram Madhav, spokesperson of the RSS. And I'm going to start with you, Mr. Madhav. I think one of the reasons why this particular issue stays on in people's perception is because there's never actually been a real expression of regret, of apology, of a sense of, yes, I was the chief minister when something terrible happened. I feel bad about it. I regret what happened. I wish I'd done things differently. Maybe if that was to be said, people's reaction would be different.
Every person who committed a crime, a wrong, should be punished no matter whether he apologizes or not. But whether one has committed a mistake or not should be properly decided by the relevant people, in this case the courts. And are you going to say that one apology will put an end to all the cases?
Do you think we will be able to get a legal answer in this? Because the SIT is saying something, we're hearing the amicus curiae is saying something completely different. There will always be a question as to whether justice was eventually done here.
We have courts to decide finally. You have a Supreme Court which will take a final call. It gives its judgment. It may be in favor of somebody or the other. One has to accept it. And one who doesn't want to accept it has, as Ms. Jaffrey said rightly, has to look for the justice elsewhere.
Manish, is that good enough for you that either you accept the people's verdict, which has been in favor of Narendra Modi, or you accept the court's verdict, or what?
We speak as of today, when the 10th year after the riots takes place is coming up before us. Unfortunately, even after 10 years, people are fighting for justice, they're crying out for justice, and the state, which should have been on the side of the victims, unfortunately, seems to be on the side of the aggressors.
What he's specifically saying is that either you have to accept the people's verdict or you have to accept the court verdict.
In all those cases where investigations were transferred out of Gujarat, where court proceedings were held out of Gujarat, there was justice which was done. In all those matters where investigations have taken place in Gujarat, court proceedings have played out in Gujarat, there has not been justice. So therefore, when he talks about justice, let the entire legal process culminate. But more important than justice is a closure.
So that
and that closure will only come.
Judiciary in Gujarat. Is he blaming the judiciary in Gujarat?
Are you blaming the entire judiciary in Gujarat is what he's asking you. He's saying that, are you blaming the entire judiciary in Gujarat?
Well, what I'm blaming is the subversion of the investigating process by the Gujarat government. That's specifically what I'm blaming.
Mr. Madhav? Subversion of
the SIT was not formed by the government of Gujarat. It was formed by the Supreme Court under the instructions of the Supreme Court. Where is the subversion? That means everything in this country will be a subversion by government of India just because it happens to be in the jurisdiction.
Well, Mr. Ram Madhav, the SIT report, is still not been fully and completely laid before the trial court. There is a particular format in which the report has to be furnished. A closure report has to be accompanied by all the supporting documents. And eventually, when that documentation is there before the courts, the complainants will have the right to peruse it and then come to their own conclusions and challenge it. So therefore, I do not think the mere presentation of a closure report by an investigating agency brings the process to an end. The concerned judge will have to take cognizance of it, will have to apply his mind, and the complainants will have the right to have their own say.
Okay.
Fair enough. Then where is the question of subversion?
The case of...
You are saying it is still before the court. Let court take a call. Let the appellants look at it and then go with their objections. Where is the subversion here?
The subversion...
Why are you blaming the government there?
The subversion, Mr. Ram Madhav, is that if you look at the investigative process over the last 10 years and repeated judgments of the Supreme Court, transferring investigations out of Gujarat, transferring even trials out of Gujarat, it was essentially because of the subversion. So therefore, you have to look at it holistically over a period of 10 years and how the Gujarat government has conducted itself and how repeatedly the Supreme Court has come down so heavily on them, even calling them that while the Neros of Gujarat was fiddling, you know, Gujarat was burning. This was an observation by the Supreme Court.
Tisa, the question of whether justice is being subverted, that's the point that Ram Madhav is making. Mr. Madhav, just stay on with us 5 more minutes. Is justice being deliberately subverted in Gujarat?
Actually, I'd just like to point out two things. What happened on 8th of February 2012 when the Supreme Court appointed SIT between 5 and 6 in the evening, submitted some sort of a confidential report partially to the magistrate in Ahmedabad. Two things happened. One is immediately Mr. Arun Jaitley, he says in Varanasi that all investigations against Modi should be closed because he has been thrice investigated and he has been found to be not guilty. Now, if this is not subversion or an effort by a senior Supreme Court lawyer to misinform the public, I don't know what is. 3 days later, saying that since SIT has given a clean chit, Modi is not guilty. Now, we have not seen the SIT report. I don't know whether Mr. Ram Madhav or the organizer has seen it. I don't know whether Jaitley has seen it. We are saying, give us a copy. We are co-petitioners and complainants. So who is subverting and who is jumping the gun? We are waiting for justice.
NDTV's cricket app. Android and iPhone. Fastest scorecard. Special analysis. And much more. Download free. NDTV.com/apps.